low glycemic, you start to eat this way and the blood sugar doesn't spike, first of all, you don't create that inflammation.
Right.
The second of all, you remain more satisfied after that meal and you don't overstimulate the release of insulin, so blood insulin levels stay down and you're more, then you don't set off this uncontrollable hunger. So companies, that I've dealt with have come out with food and meal replacements that are low glycemic. In fact, when we do our clinical trials, I've joined up with USANA, their food replacement has a glycemic index of only 23.
Now there's a little pamphlet here. It says here, reset, lose the cravings, find the new you, and it actually gives an indication or something that you can look at if you're starting a 5-day program checklist, which basically tells you how you can replace your meals and how does it work? You don't eat your meals at all and you just drink or eat that particular product, or how?
That's right. One of the toughest things as a physician I struggle with is helping people change their lifestyles or their behavior.
Especially when they're so used to the morning coffee, for instance, the roti chana in the morning.
So the hardest thing I've had is to actually help people even though they understand this, life goes on. It's hard to change behavior. So these products, along with what we've done in the clinical trials, help people to, instead of having their breakfast, they have a meal replacement. They taste good, they're convenient, and they will not spike their blood sugar.
It tastes good, because I think that's the most important thing. When people think healthy, they think, oh, it's going to be bland, it's going to be saltless, it's going to be sugarless, it's going to taste horrible. But for this one, no.
It doesn't. When we do our clinical trials, we start out, after the 5-day reset, we go to phase 1, which is 2 meal replacement, and then we have 1 regular low glycemic meal. So we've got to teach people how to eat regular food and then how to eat snacks that won't spike their blood sugar. But the one complaint we get is, oh, I don't want to drink my meals. But when you go from phase 1 to phase 2, they're doing so well, they're losing weight, they feel good, they have more energy, and they're not going hungry. That's the key. We don't do calories in, calories out. We just are trying to improve insulin sensitivity by a triad of healthy lifestyles.
I see.
Because that's a problem, because when you tip over in this abnormal metabolic state, you hold on to fat like a sponge holds on to water. That's one of the main reasons diets don't work, and they fail 98% of the time.
But for someone who is relatively fit, like our 2 handsome lads earlier on, they don't want to lose weight, they're happy with their body weight. Can someone go for something similar to this program?
Sure. It's healthy lifestyles. It's what I call, these are healthy lifestyles. It's just, if you are overweight, you'll lose some weight. If you're not, it's no big deal. But you still want to prevent the damage to your arteries. You want to, it's a healthy lifestyle that just happens to have a side effect of weight loss if you happen to need to lose weight.
Now, for those who, let's say, this is probably a 5-day, or some people take it for 12 weeks, for instance. Let's say after that 12 week, you've got what you want, you've got a trimmer or you feel healthy and bouncier. How do you maintain it? Do you continue going for meal replacements, or do you wean yourself in with solid foods but with low GI?
The whole goal is to create and firmly establish these new healthier lifestyles, which is a triad that I do in the clinical trials to help people. We get them to exercise modestly, simply walking briskly.
That's something I wanted to touch on. You were saying modestly. It says here, it actually says here in this pamphlet, avoid strenuous exercise and athletic activities. Now, why is that so? Because
Dr. Kenneth Cooper, who started the exercise craze in the United States, coined the term aerobics, wrote a book in 1994, and he said that over-exercise is dangerous to your health. And I wrote another book, What Your Doctor Doesn't Know About Nutritional Medicine, regarding free radical damage and what I call oxidative stress, or rusting inside. So if you exercise mild to moderately, the number of free radicals you produce go up just a little bit. But if you overdo, it goes up off the wall exponentially and can damage your health. So over-exercise can be dangerous. So we want to do it modestly. When you exercise modestly, like we talked about, you learn to eat in such a way as you don't spike your blood sugar, getting in the good low glycemic carbs, the good fats, and the good proteins, and take what I refer to as cellular nutrition. It is just taking all the nutrients at these optimal or advanced levels that have been shown to provide a health benefit in our medical literature. When you do that triad, when I get my patients to do that triad of healthy lifestyles, they are literally able to reverse this metabolic syndrome and go back to a normal metabolic state. They start releasing fat, their blood pressure comes down. They lose weight around their middle, and they're not trying. My patient says, well, Dr. Strand, what's so hard? about never going hungry, feeling great, having more energy, more focus,
Right.
Seeing your health parameters improve, and you begin losing weight, and you're not even trying. The reason they're not trying is they're not going hungry, but because of what we do, our goal, to answer your question, yes, we want to get them out. We want to start them out of this glycemic stress, the
Right.
carbohydrate, what I call addiction or cravings or emotional eating, which is really just spiking your blood sugar.
Right.
Then we want to move them over to eating regular food. I mean, the goal is to eat, be freed up to eat healthy, delicious food, and then we teach them in that 12 weeks what foods spike their blood sugars, which ones don't. And we just guide them step by step. And in the clinical trials, we just finished a clinical trial at the University of Colorado Medical School where we took 50 participants who had preclinical diabetes.
Okay.
Every one of them, within 12 weeks, we showed reversed that preclinical diabetic state.
All.
By just doing this triad of healthy lifestyles. Because we're going at the root cause, which is insulin resistance.
Is there any setbacks though, like someone who is probably pregnant or lactating, they can't take this?
Oh no, it's healthy if you have cancer, heart disease, all of that. You look, I did OB for 21 years, obstetrics, and we'd always check for gestational diabetes. But I had a lot of ladies who had come in who didn't have rising blood sugar,
Right.
but they had tipped over into this abnormal metabolic state, so they just looked at food and gained weight.
I know.
And they just start putting it on, and they can't believe it. Well, you go on a program like this, it is healthy. It's healthy for your baby. It's healthy for you. After you've actually delivered, it's great to get back to your
especially
normal weight.
around the tummy and thigh
that's
area.
exactly right.
And there's no vigorous exercise regime, because a lot of people are a little bit, especially now, where a lot of people are a little bit busy. They claim that they're too busy to exercise and stuff. But simple walking steps will be just
going out and
great.
walking briskly, 30 minutes,
Right.
5 days a week, not every day.
Oh, okay.
We don't do it every 5 days a week. Significantly improves insulin sensitivity. Or the equivalent, you could swim, you could bike, you could hike.
As long as the heart is still pumping.
You want to do aerobics. Weight-resistant training does not improve insulin sensitivity. But you take a well-trained athlete,
Right.
it doesn't matter what their sport is, they don't have this insulin resistance. They're thin, and in my practice, I get out a tape measure, just like your gentleman was saying here.
Yes, we were playing around with it earlier.
And measure their waist, because that is what we find.
All right, so this is how you can maintain your health, reset your healthy lifestyle by basically having this. What is this? Can you just...
This is the reset. This is the jump start. This is kind of the boot camp to get people, like I said, lifestyles are hard to change. But you take them out of their normal eating habits, and after they have the first meal that doesn't spike their blood sugar, insulin levels begin to come down.
Right.
And that fat-releasing hormone called glucagon comes up. After the second meal it happens. So for 5 days we do this, but then we quickly go into phase 1, which is 2 meal replacements, and then we teach them to eat that low glycemic meal, and then how to have low glycemic snacks. And then we give them what we see here, the USANA Essentials provides that cellular nutrition, and then we teach them just simply doing some kind of exercise. It doesn't matter to me what they do, just so they do something.
As long as they do something. You know what, Dr. Ray, we could go on and on and on. This is something that is very dear to me, especially because I'm trying to lose weight so much. This is your book, of course. I'm not quite sure if it's being sold here in Malaysia.
Yes, it is.
It is, okay. It is being sold. Healthy for Life by Ray, Dr. Ray, of course. So if you want to get this, head down to your nearest, I think it's in the MPH or any of our local bookstores. Dr. Ray, it's a pleasure having you. Unfortunately, we're running out of time here.
That's fine. Thank you.
Would
for
you like
having
to
me.
say just one final thing to our viewers here?
Well, I think that becoming diabetic is a choice, even if you're genetically predisposed, and that's what I teach my patients. That this is a choice. If you want to make these healthy lifestyle changes, even if you have a mother or a sister or brother that has diabetes, you do not have to become diabetic. 90% of the time you can prevent it.
All right then. Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so much. And of course, be healthy, reset your lifestyle. It isn't too late. We'll be back on The Breakfast Show, the show worth waking up for. See you in a bit.